Good evening, class.
Good evening.
Today we're going to be talking about objects and whether they float or sink. And we know that an object is a thing that you can see and touch, and that is not alive. If an object float, that means it rests on top of the liquid. If it sink, it go down below the surface of the water or mud, etc. Okay.
Mud.
So I just want you to take a moment and think about some things. What do you already know about sinking and floating? What do you know about sinking first? Yes.
Sinking, floating, like some sinks or float.
Okay. Yes.
That boats can float.
Okay. Boats can float. Okay.
Hey, Austin.
Anything else?
Maybe it depends on the weight
Okay. Depends on the weight. What?
of the object.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Anyone else?
When something floats, it floats in water.
Okay. Things float in water. Very good. Okay. Anything else, guys?
When it's talking about sink, it means mostly something falling, like going under.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Thinking and going under. Okay.
You want this?
Going under. Alrighty. Okay. Now, what is it that you want to know about sinking and floating? Yes. Yes.
Does soap float or sink?
Does what?
Soap.
Does.
Nope.
Float. Okay. Float or sink. Okay. Yes, Caitlin.
If they sink, they go down in the water like they go in cold water.
Okay, so you want to know
Why?
why?
Yeah.
Why they sink. Okay.
Somebody.
Anyone else? Okay. All right. By the end of this lesson, we're gonna find out some different things that may sink or float.
Or sink.
I am going to take some things out of a bag, and I want you to tell me. You're gonna make a prediction of which items you think might sink and which items you think might float. Okay. So let's start with the spoon. Do you think it's gonna sink or float,
I
class?
think I'm gonna sink.
Okay, so the things that sink we're gonna put here. How about the scissors?
Sink.
Sink.
Sink. How about this? This is
Sink.
lotion.
Can I feel it?
Wait,
You can feel it.
it's gonna
I
float.
think it's gonna sink.
I think
I
it's
think I
going to
put it-
float.
If I put it in the
Okay,
water.
so we don't know. We're gonna put it in the middle if we think it might sink or float. How about this?
Float.
Float. It looks like a
How
boat.
about this nail polish?
Sink.
See? No, it float.
How about the
Lego.
Leg-
It float, float,
Float.
float, float, float.
how about this top that goes on
Float.
Float.
float?
float.
How about this washer?
It's gonna
Sink.
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 It's too tiny.
How about this dollar?
It's gonna
Float.
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 I think it was.
What about this aluminum foil?
It's gonna float.
A
Think it's gonna
float.
float? Okay. So we have some objects that we think is going to sink, and we have some that we're not sure. Some think it's gonna sink and float, and then we got some that float. What can you tell me about the objects that y'all think is gonna sink? Yes, yes.
That the ones that's gonna sink is metal, so metal is heavier. So that means that what's gonna sink, it means by the weight is heavier, and what's gonna float means the weight is lighter.
Okay, good. Yes.
If they're really smaller, that means they're gonna float.
Okay, good job. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 items we think gonna sink, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that we think is gonna float, and one we're not sure of. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to let Caitlin come around. And I want you to put the spoon in the big bowl, in the large bowl. Did it sink, guys?
Yes.
Was our prediction right?
Yes.
Good job. Okay. Thank you, Caitlin.
You're welcome, ma'am.
I'm going to ask Yasmin if she would come and put the Lego in the large bowl. Because we said the Lego is going to float. Let's see.
If it gonna float.
Yeah.
Did we make out, is our prediction correct?
Yes.
Yes, so far.
I don't think
Alright.
that gonna float. 'cause it's
Okay.
big.
see. I'm gonna try one. I'm gonna try the nail polish. You all said it's gonna sink. Let's see.
Yeah.
Did it sink?
Yes.
Yeah. A
Okay,
little bit.
Letitia, I want you to come around and do the aluminum foil. Put it in the large.
Float.
Is it floating?
Yes.
Okay.
That's easy.
Okay, Martez, if you would take the scissors and put in the large bowl. Let's see. You guys said it's gonna
Sink.
sink. Let's see.
If it was gonna sink.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh yes.
It went
Yes,
all
yes.
the
I
way
want
down.
to talk about this for a moment. It went straight down. Why?
Because the
Heavy.
weight is heavy.
And somebody wanted to know.
Aw.
Oh, you already knew that if it was heavier. Okay. What about this little washer?
It's gonna sink.
You think it's gonna sink? Let's see.
Yep.
Yep.
It sank.
It sink.
It's deeper.
It's
than
kind of
that.
heavy. Okay.
It's
Now
deeper.
this was fresh water. This was fresh water. Now I have some salt water. Do you think there's gonna be a difference whether our objects sink or float in salt water?
No.
You don't think it's gonna be a difference?
No.
I think
Because-
it's gonna be a difference.
Because salt is just like another chemical to water, and it's not going to change.
Yeah.
Okay. You different? You think
I
different?
feel different
Okay. Tell us why.
because of salt, you have mostly with salt water you have less capacity. So basically, some stuff that you think that'll like sink in water like that, fresh water, it can float in salt water.
Okay. Let's try it. Let's try one. Let's see. Cause this. Let's try this.
It's
It
just
still
there.
sink, right?
Mhm.
But it didn't really like go all the way down though. Some
No.
of it's still kind of at the top. So you think the salt water might have made a difference?
Yeah.
It may have made a difference. Let's try this.
Oh,
Yes,
it's
that still
sink.
sinks. Let's try this object.
That's really.
It's still float, right?
Mhm.
So the salt water is not making too much of a difference. Let's try.
Aw. It's
That
too
one was
big.
about to sink.
Oh, let's look at the aluminum foil. What is going on?
It's
sinking.
sinking.
It's sinking in the fresh water, right?
Yes.
But what about in the regular water? It float, right? So it made a
It
difference.
floats. Yeah.
The aluminum foil did make a difference. So,
You
boys,
didn't even
boy and girl, you are doing a good job. Okay, so my question to you is, what did you learn? Is there anything that you learned from this lesson, just from doing this experiment? What did you learn? Yes.
That salt water can make some things. That salt water can make some things float. Make it sink.
Okay.
Yeah.
Things sink. Okay, Caitlin.
If they sink, if they float, they won't even go down all the way. They'll just stay up and they have
Float, stick on the top.
Float and big stuff, they sink. And the
Like
skinny,
heavy stuff sinks.
I have to.
What did you say?
She was saying like she said big stuff sinks. Heavy
Okay.
stuff will sink.
I said that.
Heavy objects. Heavy objects sink.
I said that.
Anything else? Yes, ma'am.
If they sink, they're not even gonna float.
Okay. Now, my last question to you guys is: can you look at an object and tell whether it sink or float? Can you just look at an object and determine whether it sinks or float?
Sometimes.
It sinks.
Sometimes, based
That
on
sink.
Based on what's in it.
That sink.
okay, based on what's in what